As the trick-or-treat chaos died down and the last screaming candy corn was subdued, Hogwarts prepared for what staff called a calm evening celebration. Everyone else called it the after-party of doom. It was supposed to be a quiet gathering for ghosts and friendly magical creatures. It quickly turned into something that would haunt the house elves' cleaning schedule for centuries. The guests list from the underworld, the ghosts, arrived first. The Grey Lady floated in dramatically, complaining that no one had reserved her a spectral seat. Sir Nicholas drifted in behind her wearing a party hat impaled on his nearly headless situation. Moments later came the Centaurs from the Forbidden Forest, elegant, mysterious, and immediately regretting their RSVP. They had assumed after-party meant philosophical discussion beneath the stars. Not Peeves' poltergeist karaoke night. Peeves' self-appointed DJ had enchanted the gramophone to play a terrifying mashup of Monster Mash and Celestina, Warbeck's greatest hits. The Bloody Baron demanded something with more existential dread. The ghosts attempted to dance, which mainly resulted in cold spots and mild possession of the punch bowl. The punch, now haunted, began screaming "boo" every time someone reached for it. The werewolves arrive outside. A full moon rose, which was, in hindsight, poor scheduling. Lupin politely assured everyone he'd taken precautions. 3 seconds later, he sprinted through the door, mid-transformation, howling apologies. The band stopped. The Centaurs galloped for higher ground, and Hagrid yelled, "Don't worry, he's just excited about the snacks." Speaking of snacks, Aragog's extended family had been invited for diversi. Then they ate the tablecloth, 3 chairs, and possibly part of a ghost. One particularly bold spider climbed onto the stage and performed an interpretive dance called 8 Legs, No Regrets. It received a standing ovation, mostly from fear. Meanwhile, in the corridor, someone, probably a Gryffindor, thought it would be funny to reinvite a mountain troll. It showed up wearing a party hat the size of a cauldron. It tried to bob for apples. The apples did not survive. Neither did the cauldron. Filch fainted. Twice, at precisely midnight, the doors burst open, and a wave of icy air swept through the hall. The Dementors had arrived. Someone had accidentally sent them invitations scented with chocolate, which they apparently took as a serious commitment. They didn't speak, they just floated ominously to the dance floor and joined the conga line. Every step made the temperature drop 10 degrees. Students began freezing mid-boogie. To counteract this, the house elves rushed in, handing out emergency chocolate frogs. It was the most heroic act since the Battle of Hogwarts. At some point, someone, possibly Luna, possibly a poltergeist, decided the party needed more atmosphere. Dozens of jack-o'-lanterns were charmed to sing spooky ballads. They all chose different keys. The result sounded like 47 pumpkins in emotional distress. One pumpkin developed stage fright and exploded. McGonagall stood frozen near the entrance, whispering, "I am too old for this." Snape had barricaded himself behind a table, using rock cakes as defensive projectiles. Hagrid was dancing with a troll, blissfully unaware the troll thought it was a wrestling match. Dumbledore, meanwhile, twirled a pumpkin in each hand and declared it the most spirited night in Hogwarts history. The morning after, by sunrise, the Great Hall was unrecognizable. The ghosts were hung over on ectoplasm. The Centaurs left a note that simply read, "Never again." The spiders were asleep in the rafters. The werewolves were snoring under the tables. And one Dementor was still hugging a piñata. Professor Sprout surveyed the wreckage, sighed, and said, "At least the plants enjoyed the humidity." And somewhere in the chaos, Voldemort's leftover therapy notes floated past, reading, "Try socializing more." Harry found them, looked around at the absolute destruction, and muttered, "Well, progress, I guess." And that was the Hogwarts Halloween after-party, a night of monsters, mayhem, and questionable decisions. No one remembered who started it. Everyone agreed it was worth it, because at Hogwarts, even the after-parties end with minor property damage and at least one existential crisis, but always with style. Like, comment, and subscribe for more Harry Potter silliness.